Hey, good afternoon. It's Friday, June 2nd, and I've gathered you here today to solve the New York Times crossword puzzle with me. I find myself in a bit of a pattern here where I'm solving the Thursday puzzle unsuccessfully, feeling terrible about it. It leaves a horrible taste in my mouth, and I find myself looking for redemption on Friday or Saturday. And that's what today is, because I tried yesterday and failed. Perhaps you watched that video of my failure. Perhaps you failed yourself. Seems like yesterday was a very controversial puzzle. People loved it or hated it. Certainly one of the more complex and involved themes. If that's your thing, then great. Didn't really click for me, so I was unable to complete the puzzle and figured I'd try again today. Hopefully with your support. But it's good to have controversial puzzles, and we should like different things, and we should all have our own preferences, and I don't know, it's fine. Anyways, today is Friday, June 2nd. Puzzles constructed by John Eubank. It is an absolutely disgusting day weather-wise where I live, up in the Rocky Mountains. It's like 40 degrees. It snowed high up last night, but it's just rainy and overcast down here, down in the valley. So seems like a good day for redemption. So hopefully that's what we'll find here today. Let's do it. Hope you had a good week. Police officers in British slang. I thought police officers were like bobbies. I thought that was what you called them, but it doesn't seem like that would fit. Promotes informally, like reps, perhaps represents. Provisos are, I think, ifs, right? Subject of the Jake Gyllenhaal movies Donnie Darko and Source Code. The subject of those things. I don't know. A small fragment, like a chip. Genre for Dune and Flash Gordon. Like science fantasy. I don't know. Dune and Flash. I mean, those are definitely not movies that I associate with one another. European tourist attraction that's erupted in popularity. That's probably Mount Etna, right? Party animal. Like a mascot or party animal. I mean, I'm thinking like Democratic donkey, maybe. Like, is it donkey? I don't know. Hit the hit the deck. Yeah, let's try donkey. Why not? It's Friday. We should live a little. Donkey. Brink is like the cusp or the edge, the lip, maybe the lip. Brink, rim. Eh, I don't know. Arctic food fish. Part of a comic strip is a panel. Something outstanding in its field. That's probably some kind of an animal, right? A Styx figure. Um, so I mean, Styx, like that was like a band, but it was also the River Styx. There was a guy who like something with a CH, like the guy who ran the place, right? Who helped with your crossing of the River Styx. I'm just making stuff up at this point. I don't know. Any of the bad boys in the 1980s, 90s NBA. Well, that was the Pistons, the Detroit Pistons. So bad boy. So any of them was a Piston, right? Is that right? Not Knicks. Suffer consequences. That feels like pay. Traveler's aid. Traveler's aid. Figure at a shareholders meeting. That's like the stock price or engaged in, like at it or in check. Out to lunch. Targets for crunches are your abs, your abdominal muscles. Swell is maybe like bloat. Could it be bloat? Look for yourself. see here, or check, or I don't know. Full of pluck. Full of pluck. First to play. The starters, like on a basketball team. Speaking of, I talked a lot about the Celtics, and then I have not mentioned their horrible demise in Game 7 against the Heat. Props to the Heat. Props to Jimmy Butler, who is one of the greatest playoff performers of all time. Now that it's over, though, the Celtics are done. I'm rooting very hard for the Nuggets. I live in Colorado, and Nikola Jokic is the freaking man. So hoping the Nuggets sweep the series and win their first championship ever. Anyways, go Nuggets. Goes on and on, like rambles, rants, raves. Maker of Gator utility vehicles. Well, that's John Deere. I actually like drive a Gator a lot at my job, and I love it. Post hoc something propter hoc. Causal fallacy. Any chess move in which one gives up a piece informally. Reach through reasoning. Hawk. Is that like to pawn, to hawk something? One working with a set of keys. Like a pianist, piano tuner. True story. So the amphitheater that I work at, for many years, we had an in-house piano tuner whose name was Michael Jackson. He was an older guy who dressed like a cowboy, and I think he really like was a cowboy. But he was also deeply passionate about piano tuning, and that's my piano tuner story. Wonder what Michael Jackson is up to these days. He doesn't work with us anymore. Language spoken in Canada. Well, it's not French. It's probably Cree, I think, like the Native American language. General Motor. Doofus, like an oaf or a, let's say it's probably oaf, or an ass. Could be an ass. Maybe. Yeah, maybe it's ass. We'll see. Organization with a small one-story building in Times Square. I do not know. Mergers and acquisitions are both types of deals. So let's see. 6 minutes for the first pass. Kind of a long first pass. Didn't do great. Redemption maybe out of reach. TBD. Possible concern for a vet. So I was thinking like a veterinarian, but this is PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, like a vet of the military. Police officers. Certain cosmetic procedure. Could be lipo, rhinoplasty, rhino. Land with an exclave on the Strait of Hormuz. I've never heard the word exclave. I assume it's whatever the opposite of an enclave is, but um, a skyline site is a steeple. Freestyle is to rap. It's an uphill climb from here. It's an uphill climb from here. Jeopardy is peril. A wrestling move is well then. I feel like that's in that case. In that case, what was a small fragment? You can take it or leave it. Final order, take it or leave it. Something. Website with a no fear Shakespeare section. What? Website with a no fear Shakespeare section. Oh, Spark Notes. I was thinking it was Cliff's Notes, but must be Spark Notes, which is the same thing. Adjective applied to the UK's Air Force and Navy, but not Army. Must be royal. Vaishnavism and Shaivism. Those must be sects. Insects. Apologies about my pronunciation of those things. This feels like a snip, a small fragment. Snip, snap. Could be. I suppose it could be either, right? Groovy is neato. Something outstanding in its field is a stalk, like a corn stalk, right? Member of the fam is a sib, or is it cis? Could be cis, and this is Atlas, right? Taqueria beverage is what would you drink in a taqueria? Horchata or Jarritos? I don't know. Attendance at a Saturnalia. I don't know what that is. Billboard Hot 100 listings. Like hit songs. Billboard Hot 1 listing. Top charts. A marriage agreement is I do. Milk you drink is a latte. Gymnast Raisman is Allie Raisman. I think Allie Raisman actually is like from the town next to me. I think she's from Needham, Massachusetts. I grew up in Newton. Check is at Bay. But I can never remember if it's ALI or ALY. But Full of Pluck feels like it'll end in a Y. Eyepiece. Eyepiece. Like is it the dot over the I maybe? Like a dot? Up to lunch. Daft. Final offer. Okay, yeah. Final offer. CFO. Great. Love that. Group with 26 down. What's 26 down? Oh, it's a Billboard Top 100 with 26 down in Korean. Oh, it must be BTS, which is the big K-pop band, Korean pop. BTS. I'm sure I don't know a BTS song, but that's the answer. Look for yourself. Go see. Waved at. Greeted. Loosely worn item of attire. Loosely worn item of attire. Zeal. Is that ardor? No for a vegan is dairy. 80 meters for an Airbus is the wingspan, presumably. So inconsiderate. Rude. What is this? Reach through reasoning. Derive. Yeah, Inca Empire. Wiener Schnitzel is made of veal. Derive. Has it wrong. Errors. What is this? General Motor. It's like an armored car. Armored car. A positive indication is a nod. Organization with a small. Oh, NYPD must be, right? Uphill climb. Something ramp. Base ramp. Uphill climb from here. Is it ramp? Any chess move? Is it a sacrifice? Sack? Base camp? Uphill climb. Oh, Everest Base Camp. I have a buddy, my buddy Andrew, hiked to Everest Base Camp once, and I don't know why. It's at like 18,000 feet. It sounds terrible, and he made it sound pretty terrible. So I won't be doing that. Police officers. I'm going to say this is plods, like they plod around, right? Maybe, which would make this lipo, right? Subject of so time travel. This must be Oman and space opera. Is Dune a space opera? Wrestling move is a slam and rim. Cool beans. Sticks figure is sticks figure. I don't know any of the people in the band Styx, so if it's one of them, that's going to be hard. A traveler's aid is a could be like I was going to say globe, but I feel pretty good about I do here. Traveler's aid is a guide engaged in like up to full of pluck is it's not like perky, it's full of pluck. Goes on and on, rants, raves. Oh, agua fresca? Is that's got to be this. Agua fresca. What is this? Attendance at a Saturnalia. Styx figure. Is it Achilles? Does he have anything to do with Styx? Cup bearers. So Saturnalia, is that like a eyes wide shut, like a weird cult thing? Saturnalia. Huh. Hit singles are what you'd find on the Billboard Hot 100. Feisty, rants, ergo, sell. Boom. We're going to admire our puzzle here. Why not? We've earned it. 1447. Pretty typical solve time. We got our redemption. Yay. Don't have to feel so bad about yesterday anymore. That's always nice. Fridays always make me feel a little better because I don't know. I always manage to solve the Friday, no matter. Sometimes it takes me a while, but yeah, feeling good that I bounced back from yesterday's awfulness, and I'm thrilled that there were 0 numbers in this puzzle. Numbers should mind their own business and stick to Sudokus. Let's have letters in our crossword grids, please, and thank you. Anyways, though, pretty smooth solve. There's some unusual fill, some stuff that we don't see often. So let's run through it. Plods, not how I would have clued that answer, plods. And I've never heard it, but it's parsable, right? Like they plod around the city, and it kind of just makes sense. And it's very British as well. But I do think, I think a British police officer is called a bobby, right? That's like why it's a bobby stick. Am I making that up? Is that real? I don't know. Who could say? Promotes reps, ifs, time travel. Donnie Darko is a very weird movie. I don't think I've ever seen Source Code. Jake Gyllenhaal's a pretty fantastic actor, though, and yeah, kind of a fun one. Snip, blah, space opera. I first saw the movie Flash Gordon after I saw the movie Ted about the teddy bear with Mark Wahlberg, which is like weirdly based on Flash Gordon, and it piqued my interest. And boy, is that whole thing weird. And just the concept of a space opera is great. Yeah, if we're going to go to space, might as well sing about it, right? Mounette, donkey as a party animal. That's kind of a fun one. Yeah, politics, meh, but good cluing. Char, I don't know. If you handed me a piece of char, it would probably take me a while to name that as the fish that I thought it was. I think it's kind of like salmon, right? Comic strips, can't remember last time I read a proper comic strip. Stock, Achilles. I don't really get this one. Achilles sticks. Like, this must be pertaining to the river Styx, where, the way to Hades. But I don't know. Achilles didn't connect that one. I like this. The Bad Boy Pistons. That's great. What? Rick Mahorn. He was one of those guys, right? Anyways, NBA. This time of year, it's the NBA Finals, and I like when stuff is seasonally appropriate, and I like when it pertains to what's going on in my life and in the world. And although the Pistons are not currently relevant, NBA is big time on my brain. So there you go. Guide, atlas, sure, why not? But we all have stuff on our phones now, and atlases and guides, sort of a thing of the past. CFO, blah, up to, at bay. So there's some fill I don't love here. Daft, I wish this was clued about the band Daft Punk. That'd be cooler. abs, bloat, go see, feisty. Yeah, so there's a lot of blah. Gator utility vehicles, I did mention. I love driving my Gator around. Big fan. Just got it serviced actually a couple days ago, and it's really purring, running like a charm. So teed up for a good summer with that guy. Ergo sack. I've again, like I'm not familiar with that term, but it's parsable. You can figure it out. Derived cell, piano tuner. I mean, I only like that one because of Michael Jackson, but that's enough for me. Armored car is a General Motor. I don't love that. It feels like a little bit of a reach, a little bit too punny to be, a little too cute for its own good, maybe, but not horrible. PTSD, lipo. I feel like there are some abbreviations that I'm not a huge fan of. Reps, lipo, sac, some kind of cut off stuff. Oman. I mean, I don't know anything about Oman except that I see it in crossword puzzles pretty regularly. Everest Base Camp. It's funny. While I was wrapping up the solve, I was thinking about Andrew going to Everest Base Camp, and when he got there, Paul Oakenfold was doing a live DJ set at base camp. Paul Oakenfold is one of the OG, like original big time DJs who pioneered electronic dance music, and pretty random to get up to Everest Base Camp and Paul Oakenfold is up there. Pretty random that anyone would be up there playing music, but anyways, just to tie that all together. Peril Slam, in that case, final offer. Spark Notes, that took me back. I mean, I definitely was a frequenter of Spark Notes back in college, but that was a couple decades ago now. Royal Air Force and Navy, but not Army. That's a bummer for the Army. Like they don't get to represent the Royals. Tough. Those are sects apparently. Sure, why not? Nito, Cis, Agua Fresca. That's a good one, cute one. I don't really know what it is, an agua fresca, but it sounds like a thing with two Spanish words that you might find in a taqueria. So there you go. Cupbearers, I don't have any. I'm surprised I even knew what that was. Hit singles, Taylor Swift has all those, so don't even try. I do, Pay, Latte, Allie Raisman. Yeah, definitely some Phil I don't love here, but I thought the highlights were good enough to kind of make it worth the time, and the fact that it was a smooth solve. None of these bad pieces of fill really jumped out at me at the time, which means that they weren't that bad. Inca, veal, errors, positive indication. Sure, why not? So, as you know, as I mentioned earlier, I was looking for redemption here. Got it. 1447 for a live Friday solve. Not too bad. Not like a super breezy solve, but didn't hang me up too much. And really kind of got that yucky taste out of my mouth from yesterday. And sorry for ranting about it. Hope you didn't mind. My goal isn't always to love the puzzle. My goal isn't to find silver linings and be happy with what they offer me. My goal is to provide an honest critique and give you my sincere feelings about how the puzzle went. And not much good that I had to say about yesterday's. It's brilliant. Like it's really, really smart. Too smart for its own good, frankly. And when I was looking through it today, it didn't. It's awfully complex. And props to them for making a complex puzzle that was well executed. And I'm glad that some people really enjoyed it, but not for me. I like letters in my words. So, anyways, gonna quit rambling now, and you probably won't see me till next week because I can't imagine I'm gonna do another solve tomorrow or Sunday. That's unlikely. I already squeezed 2 in this week, so. But as always, appreciate you joining me here. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. And please join me here next time for another live solve of the New York Times crossword puzzle. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Bye.